Hey guys, it's Jennifer Nicole here. I am just going to be showing you how to get this super grungy eye look. I think it's really fun. It's very sultry, and I think it'd be fun for a date night. And obviously I want to pair it with some a little more dramatic makeup. It's a little bit later throughout the day, and so my face makeup is kind of worn off a little bit. But if you have some kind of heavy contour or bronzing going on, I think it would look really nice. So if you want to see how to get this really nice grungy look, then just keep watching. First, I'm going to start by priming my eyes, and I'm going to be taking the Tarte Shape Tape and just applying that on my eyes, and then I'm just going to actually just be patting that in with my finger. Okay, then I'm going to be taking the color Tempera and just applying that all over my lid. Again, taking that with my finger just because with my finger it can apply the most amount of product, and I really like to just pack on that base to create a nice smooth transition. I'm going to be pulling the eyeshadow out a little bit further, so I am going to be taking the eyeshadow all the way out the tail of my eyebrow so that I make sure that everything will transition and it won't have any skips or muddiness to it. Okay, now I'm going to take this Wet n Wild fluffy brush, and it's just kind of a flat, and it's really soft and not dense at all. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take the shade Warm Taupe. Now the Modern Renaissance palette, usually you use a lot of warm, pinkish, orange shades just because that's what it's based out of. But today I just wanted to do a super grungy look, so I'm going to be using the darker shades in this palette mostly to create that look. I love this brush because it is so airy and not very dense at all, and because this palette is so pigmented. I feel like the two work really well together because it just spreads the product and kind of blends itself, and you really don't need a lot because the palette is so pigmented. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Okay, so because this is a little bit of a longer process, I decided just to do one eye already, and then I'm going to just show you how I do this eye. So again, all that I've done so far is just take the Warm Taupe and just apply that right in the crease. So now I'm going to start building that color up, and I'm going to be going in with this Antique Bronze shade right here, and it's warm and it has a little bit of a purplish undertone, but it's mostly just this shimmery brown shade, and I'm going to apply that all over the lid, but mostly focusing the most amount of color on the outer portion of my eye and the inner portion. And I just really want to make that really deep and just grungy looking. And then I'm staying a little bit away from that inner portion of my lid. And I'm focusing again on the lid and in the crease, and I'm actually going to take that fairly high on the crease. And then I'm going to go in with this fluffy brush, and I'm going to take this chocolate orange shade, it's Cypress Umber, and I'm going to put that on my brush and tap off the excess. And again, do the same thing, but this one just focusing lower on the lid and in the crease. And then I'm just going to kind of pull it down into this upwards V shape, and just go down to my lower lash line as well. And there was already a lot of product on my brush from doing this eye, so it might take you a little bit longer to build up the product, the other eye, so it's blending a lot easier than it did on this eye. Then I'm going to take a clean brush, and I'm going to go in with Tempera again and just apply that on my brow bone and just kind of transition those shades together. Then I'm going to be going in back with that fluffy brush and just blending the darker shade into the lighter shade. I am taking this darker shade up a little bit higher than I normally would, again just to create that really grungy appearance. And because I'm okay with smoking out this lower lash line, I'm just using the fluffy brush and just angling that up. And then I'm going to be going in with a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape and just applying it on a brush and popping that right in the center of my lid to just give it a little bit of a highlight. Dragging it up a little bit, just creating a nice spotlight effect, and then I'm just going to tap that out. I'm really not trying to move any of the product around, I'm just lightly tapping it into the skin. And then I take the shade Primavera, and it's this really nice gold shade, and I'm just going to be applying that to the center of my lid. And I'm really trying to pack on the pigment here, so I'm just going to go in a few times and just really press that into my lid. And then I'm just going to go in once again and just build it up slightly more, and again just blend it in with my brush. Creating layers makes a lot of depth in your eyeshadow, and it helps intensify the colors and blend everything together. So now I'm just going to take this big flat brush, and I'm going to take Primavera, and I'm just going to pop that into the inner corner and bottom of my lash line. And then again, grabbing my fluffy brush and just blending all of that in and kind of dragging it out to the tail of my eyebrow. And then I'm going to go in with this NYC liner, and honestly there's just not a lot of color payoff, so I'm going to just take a little bit of Cypress Umber and a little bit of this Love Letter shade and just mix those two together on and just use it more of an applicator. And then I'm just going to apply that on my lower lash line. Okay, so now I'm just going to curl my lashes. So now that they are all lifted and curled, I've been trying out 2 different mascaras and just kind of trying to get a feel for both of them. So I've been using the Tarte Man Hater. I have a deluxe sample of that. And then the Maybelline Lash Sensational. Honestly, I feel like they both need to dry out a little bit because they're so wet right now that they just are transferring. My lashes are kind of clumping together, but I like to use the Man Hater one because it separates more, and then the Lash Sensational really seems to kind of thicken up and bulk the lashes. So I'm just going to go between the two. Also, when I do a grungy look, I do like to go a little bit heavier on the lower lashes. And the reason I do that is because I have so much eyeshadow underneath. I feel like to really even it out, it's important to have that distinction in your lower and upper lashes.